Welcome to Black Belt Beauty Radio, a podcast fueled by a passion to support your journey in developing your most beautiful and optimal performance in life. Each episode is driven with the intention to elevate your mind. When we elevate our mind, we elevate our life. So get ready. It's time to rise. What's up, people? Welcome back to Black Belt Beauty Radio. It's Solosode time, and I've got a good one for you guys. I'm going to have fun with this one. It came to me yesterday, and it was inspired by this thing that's been happening on Instagram in the last several days, maybe a week at this point. The 10-year challenge. So essentially it's this, challenge to reveal how you've aged in the last 10 years. And all the people that I follow have been posting real pictures, like for everything that they're worth, just super rad about it. And what I've appreciated about this whole thing is that in all the captions that I'm reading, I'm taking in a lot of appreciation for growth, for where they were, where they are now, where they want to be, and just kind of like really being self-reflective. And there's a lot of self-love I'm capturing from the people that I follow anyways in their captions. And, these things are very important to me. Self-love, self-reflection, self-awareness, self-encouragement. Everyone's like, powering themselves up for the next several years ahead by way of their words. And I love taking that in. I love it because I really believe, and I express it all the time on the podcast and on social media as well, that these are actual tools for me personally that help me to, perform from my best ability every single day as I kind of pave this path, this unpaved path that I'm on, like create it as I go, right? Path creator, always put that out there. The more self-love I offer myself, the more I take time to reflect, the more I am self-aware, self-observant, the more I encourage myself, the stronger I am on this adventure pursuit within my process, however you want to frame it, all of the above. So I really appreciated, taking in everyone's post basically. And I wasn't sure if I was going to do it. I don't really have, 10 pictures from 10 years ago on my devices because I didn't have an iPhone. And, you change your computer, you change your phone. And these days we don't print that much. I like to still print when I can, but let's be real. Like most pictures get saved on your phone and then you get a new phone and whatever. Anyways. So just for fun, the other day I started playing around like, well, what pictures could I find? And I found one from when I was 30 because I'm currently 40. On my Facebook account. And so, I did a side-by-side of me currently and me then and sat on it. I didn't even know if I was going to post it. And then yesterday I, did my morning meditation, my journaling, my me time. Like I was super elevated, inspired. The way that I start all my mornings, like primed and fucking ready to go, right? Super creative. And I looked at that picture and then words just started coming to me, right? Like they were just flowing. And I felt really good about it. I felt very connected to it. And that's how I like to post, period, you guys. And so I hit post and it was really incredible. Like I got a lot of real positive feedback. I guess the response was very, people really appreciated the post basically, on both my accounts, Black Belt Beauty, Roxy Look. And it was cool. I mean, because I was just speaking from, my truth. That's where I always speak from. But here's the thing. So what I really was trying to put out in my message with this post was that the model of aging as we know it, in my opinion, is absolutely fucking old. Pun intended. So I really want to, upon like seeing all the feedback that I was getting on this post, I was like, oh, you know what? It's probably a good topic for a solosode because, and the concept essentially is aging and how I believe that for the most part, aging is actually a choice. How we choose how we are going to age, right? I mean, look, I'm not denying the human process that we all go through. We are born, we live, we die. Like that's for sure going to happen, right? However, the old model is like, I feel like when you're getting, in quotations, old or you're aging, it's essentially making this claim that you are deteriorating. I mean, I'm going to pick at this specifically, like, especially as a woman. I mean, I grew up, maybe it's shifting a little bit now. I don't know. I'm certainly a part of the shift if that is the case. I grew up with like, oh, women shouldn't, reveal their age. Why? 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 Because essentially it means that, or it's meant that, the minute you're getting to this certain decade, you start to deteriorate in your value. And it's horrible. I mean, fuck that. So, I'm not necessarily trying to be the campaign for, hey, everybody look at me, I'm 40. It's not even about that. It's more of like, number one, I would never lose my autonomy by shrinking myself to, to go into that, idea of like hide your age, which is so fear-based and so gross to me personally. Everyone does whatever they want to do, wherever your happy, confident space is. It's just that, to me, how I view that is it's like, I'm not as powerful as this concept is. And that's not true. I don't believe that. I feel this is the other part. It's like, I'm very, very proud to have not just lived and survived, but have felt tremendous success in all the years that I have been on this fucking planet so far. 40 years, I mean, these are stripes that I'm not taking away from myself, and I don't even want to try and have anybody take away from me. You know what I mean? Like, if that even made sense, I don't know, but I'm going to keep going. I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to take my stripes away. I earned my years. I earned, if I have smile lines or, I earned this shit, and I'm proud of that. And I really do want to be a representation of that, of the idea, in addition to this piece right here that, aging is like, there's one, I'm going to break this up to really do my best to deliver a cool, episode for you guys that hopefully is going to resonate and inspire you in your, everyday actions on how you're going to choose to age, because I'm putting emphasis here on the fact that it's a choice. So we have age by way of spirit. We have, and that's really like how people receive you, what you're exuding into this life, right? And then we have age by way of, your biology, your physiological age, and then obviously there's your chronological age, right? So I'm going to break this down. I'm going to go through those sections, and I'm going to kind of just brush over like my ideas about them. And then I'm actually going to share with you guys my game plan, my everyday choices, my actions, broadly in these specific areas, in an effort to, maybe it's something that inspires you and you're like, ooh, that's a good idea. Or, ooh, I don't know, something, I feel like there is an offering there and I want to tap into it and share it with you guys. It was interesting because I got so many people like DMing me and like, I can't believe, like, mind blown. I can't believe you're 40. There's no way in hell you're 40. And for sure, look, it's a compliment because I know where it's coming from. Like, oh, you don't look your age. And again, it's like, well, what does that even mean? Like, what are we supposed to look like? I mean, I guess if we're going based off of what we have been experiencing, it was like, before, you have these whole sayings like, 40 is the new 30 and so on, right? Because not that long ago, it's like you hit 30 and now you're supposed to have all your shit together and you're like at that, you're such an adult and you're so mature. And then 40 is like, now you're in like, it's almost like the old, you're older now. I'm holding up quotations here. And you guys, I have absolutely fucking no connection to that concept. I will say that, and this is going to go into the youth part of it, or spirit part of being youthful. There's a sense of like wisdom for sure that is more profound within me at 40 than at 16, but I don't wake up and feel like I'm 40. I also don't wake up and feel like I'm fucking 16. I don't feel age, you guys, at all. So before I get into that territory, what I just expressed, age by way of spirit, and biology, I can't word. I don't know why I can't say that word today. Your physiological age. We'll just stick to biology. How about that? Biology and then your chronological age. So spirit, biology, and chronological. Okay, let's keep it simple, Roxanne. All right, but what I want to do actually before I tear into those areas, you guys, is I actually want to read to you my post from yesterday. I think it gives a good framework for me to maneuver through this episode for all of you. And I think it's also worthy of just being, held up on this episode on the podcast. So obviously the picture was, there was a shot of me at 30 and a shot of me now at 40. And the caption reads as follows. I want to pinch my cute 30-year-old cheeks on the left and smack my 40 years alive's booty on the right and say to myself, great work. I'm proud of you. Now do better because you know you can. Sure can. The bait to keep leveling up seduces me on the daily. The model of aging as we know it is old. I still play outside. I laugh with no constraints and a lot. I'm as curious as ever. I always seek ways to create. I mind my business and focus solely on what grows me in desirable ways. I eat my vegetables. I make sleep a priority. I daydream often. I listen to my instincts and intuition always. I seek challenge. I embrace uncertainty. I spend lots of time in nature. And I don't take shit from anyone ever. I'm savoring every minute of this adventure called life and wasting no energy on getting older. It's not even part of my vocabulary. It's not even part of my vocabulary. Yeah. Okay. So minimal sleep today, you guys. I ain't gonna lie. Keeping it raw and real though. Here we go. So, that little list that I created, there's like a full-on blend of, the childlike youthfulness. There's the element of biology in there. There's the element of, wisdom in there. It's like, and what I was trying to really drive home is you can be ageless. Like, we don't have to fucking get old in that sense that we're so familiar with. Again, I'm not afraid of the fact that one day I will have wrinkles. One day I'm going to have fucking all gray hair. One day it's all going to end. I'm not avoiding that. I'm not, afraid of that. However, we live in a time where we have more access than ever before to choose the information that we absorb. And I'm not talking just about the things that we read, although that is absolutely so, in my opinion, important to your aging process. Everything is information. I'm sure, all of you have already been listening to the podcast, have heard me say it several times. Everything is information and it's how we process it, right? It's also what we choose. So food is information. What foods are we choosing? Activity is information. Are we utilizing it? And if so, how, what are we doing? Sleep is information, right? So it's this idea that we can be ageless. Like, here's the thing. In my personal life, I don't even fucking know my friend's age. Unless you are my age, because first that just sticks to me because we're year of the horse. We were born in 1978. But I honestly don't I don't really remember my friends' ages because I don't feel age on them. There's always just a sense of spirit and energy. And that will always vary because, like I said, I don't wake up and feel 40 and I don't wake up and feel 16. And I'm not trying to fit into a number at all. I feel energy and I live energy and I am energy. And guess what? So are you. So what is that energy expressing? What is that energy feeling? That's the fucking correct, in quotation, age, right? again, with respect to the actual process of, which we're all going to go through. But when we are choosing the information that is going to keep our biology youthful, keep our spirit youthful, we how do I want to say this? Yes, we still have our chronological age, but we challenge it, right? And that's where the whole there's no fucking way you're 40 comes in. It's like, well, no, I am. I've had 40 birthdays so far. But yeah, my, biology is certainly younger than my chronological age. So my spirit is absolutely younger than this concept of what 40, for the most part is, for sure. My wisdom goes beyond 40, right? I feel like that. So I'm not saying I have it all figured out either. Fuck no, wouldn't even want that yet. I'm hungry and I just want to keep learning. That right there, that little piece I just said, that is also what contributes to this ageless, youthful kind of spirit. So, I want to go into the territory of youth by way of spirit is what I'm calling it. So I wrote down a few words and I want to just tease them apart. So when I think of a youthful child, I think of, authenticity. Authenticity means, especially in relation to a child, it's they're so pure, it's they don't have labels yet. They're not trying to fit into anything. They're just being their fucking selves. They don't know anything else, right? And it's so pure. So they're not holding back. They're just literally being this, true version of themselves, right? And then puberty hits and it's all over. No, I'm just kidding. Kind of. But so authenticity is a way, when we are living from our most authentic self, I feel like there is an essence of youth that is translated from that as well. Love. I didn't put love in that list, man, because it just, I don't know, but fuck, everything for me is love. I am love. I lead with love. And I express love at such a full-on level. I don't even have words. Listen, if you're my people and you say I love you, when people say I love you in my life, I'm not the me too and love ya. Nah, sorry, I don't. I don't. I grew up in a family where, fortunately, maybe this has something to do with it, but we always say I love you. Even when we're fucking pissed, we'll say fuck you in the same 5 minutes. Fuck off. We're saying bye to each other. Okay, I love you. And we mean it though, too. We mean both. It's so funny. But I love so openly. I love almost I've never been hurt, but of course I have. When you have a capacity to love like this, as the way that I do, it is absolutely so easy to become hurt, right? But a child, when you think about the youthful child, man, they're just loving. They're just, and they love so openly, and it's so liberating. That's the word I put next to love. And that's what I personally feel to be able to love at the capacity at which I do, even if it involves, me being more susceptible to being disappointed or hurt. I have to say that I'm so liberated for my ability to love like this because I don't fucking hold back. It doesn't mean I love everything and everyone. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not. I'm saying that when I feel love, I express it at the highest level, at the fullest level. There is no holding back there. And that is a very liberating feeling for me. And I feel like that translates into the essence of youth, because I think also as we get older, quotations older, we tend to close more, and love keeps us open. It does for me. Curiosity is the next word. So curiosity also lends to being open, lends to a growth mindset. I'm more curious than I ever have been. I put it in that list because it's it's so true. I'm so interested, you guys. and in so many different areas. And it's a beautiful feeling to wake up with every day, to be like, what more can I learn? Okay. And I have all these different areas, whether it's science, whether it's literature, like literally my vocabulary. I'm like, how can I increase it? I love words. I always hashtag logophile, which means lover of words, for those of you who don't know. And I just want to keep learning. I want to keep growing. Art, it's endless. Yeah, it's endless. For me personally, it is. And that curiosity, or just like philosophically too, fuck you guys. I sit down every morning and I stare out my window, or just stare, and I'm like going inside, and I'm getting very philosophical with myself. I'm asking questions, and it's profound what comes out of me sometimes. And man, it's so cool to feel this stuff. And again, I'm contributing this to the essence of youth, because a child is so curious. Like the classic, but why? But why? How? Right? It's like when we stop asking those questions, when we stop wondering, we start to just we stop growing, basically. And when we're not growing, we're not living. So there goes that. All right. So the next word that I have is courage. I mean, man, kids are brave, right? Like they don't even fucking realize it because they haven't felt hurt. Or even if they have, like they'll still do things like jump off that, whatever, too tall of a dresser, or, touch that thing that's going to burn them, or, do the dance on the stage when everyone's looking, but they don't even care because they're just so in the moment with their truest self. Like they're just brave. They're risk takers. And that's something that's very important to me. And every single day of my life, literally every day, I ask myself, how could I be more brave? How could I be more courageous? It's to me something that it's kind of like a muscle that needs to be flexed every day to stay strong. Because especially as, with the more that we go through life and, we experience hard times, discomfort, failure, losses, all that stuff. It starts to tax on us, man. And it really starts to tap into our confidence and our courage, essentially. And when you come across someone who, has that sense of courage, I just feel like it's a very robust energy, right? It's like, it's alive, it's young, right? I feel like it's so connected to the essence of youth. Or I'm connecting it that way, and I'm offering it that way right now. So that goes into that category for me, courage. The next word that I have is imagination. I said in that list, I daydream often. I do, man. I really, really do. And the daydreaming goes into self-reflection. It goes into I start creating things in my mind, visualization, thinking about, like, envisioning my day, envisioning my tomorrows, envisioning the things that I want to create, all that stuff. I'm using my imagination. And that is another muscle that I feel, needs to be actively flexed. You need to put tension on it, and you put tension on it by utilizing it. I don't watch TV. I'm not trying to diss on anybody who does. I know that most people do. I watch the UFC fights, and that's it. The thing is that I choose to look into the TV in my mind and turn that shit on, put some tension on my imagination, and not, versus like sometimes I really believe that TV, especially it's all about the dose, right? It's like, listen, you have your shows here, there, fucking beautiful. You deserve it. You've worked all day. You're tired. But when TV starts to become this thing that just becomes a form of escapism, and in large doses, to where you're not taking the time to utilize your imagination, to just sit there and be creative and self-reflect and wonder and ask those questions, get curious. That's where honestly, I feel like that starts to age us, because we're not putting tension on our curiosity, on our imagination, and, asking it to grow, basically. So that's huge for me, man. Imagination is obviously we can so connect that to a child. They have the best imaginations. They don't stop. They don't fucking limit themselves. They draw purple dragons like in on the top of, Mars, and I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, they just go for it and they don't limit themselves. And that is so refreshing. It's so youthful, and it is, you don't necessarily, I don't need to draw a purple dragon. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It actually sounds pretty cool. I just don't know how to do it. But, I can do purple dragons in other ways, by way of words, my poetry, my writing, I'm just saying, like, I express myself creatively and through curiosity, through imagination. So putting those things as very important tools to the, kind of being ageless process. Play. You guys, I mean, this is a fucking no-brainer, right? It's like play. So in that list, I play outside. And I do. I really do. And I do that with my family still. I love it. I love nature. It's huge, man. Not afraid to get dirty. I love it. It's so, being playful is, I think that's a huge piece right there. I know that personally I am received that way because I am very playful, and it's part of my charisma, it's part of my personality, and that I have a deep connection with that. But I explore it and I allow it to be lived. I don't suppress my playfulness, and I seek it, and every kid wants to play, right? I mean, I grew up in the age where kids actually played outside and with each other, not on a screen. We had video games, but like we were still outside, trying to hang out after dark, but had to come in. It was like that for us. So, and that and maybe that's why it's more easy to be playful. I don't know. I mean, my brothers are similar in that way. Like all my siblings actually really have a youthful presence to them. And I think we bring it out in each other. Like we don't allow each other to kind of even get, aged, if you will, the way we are with each other, which is fun. But anyways, play is huge, you guys. Play is so connected to laughter, and that was on my list as well. I laugh without constraint and a lot. I feel like I've said this for a long time, never on the podcast, so I can really tell a lot about someone by the way that they laugh. Really. Like if you don't laugh, that's to me a clue. If you laugh out loud and super free, that's a clue. If you laugh, but you're like trying to hold back and you don't really want to let it out, it's a clue, man. I could fucking read people by laughter. It's like then there's people like just like almost like overdo the handshake. It's like overdo the laugh. It's like, okay, wait, hold on. But anyways, and not like if there's judgment, it's just kind of like, oh, okay, I learn more about someone through their laughter. And this goes back to, the part where I said that as the years come on, people laugh less. As a kid, kids don't fucking hold back, man. They're just laughing and they're doing it without any concern, without any care in the world. And, that is something gratefully that has just never stopped in me. I have a very broad sense of humor and I love to laugh. I really, really do. I'm willing to get the smile lines from the laughter all day long if it means that I just get to keep laughing through my life, It's joy, you guys. It's absolute joy. So those words, as I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about an ageless spirit, those are the words, the most powerful words that come to me. Those are words that, I write in my journal every day. They're words that move through my mind every day. They're, they're intention words. They're words that you're going to hear a lot more of on this podcast in many different ways. So I thought it was cool to kind of, put it together like that for you and just maybe pause for a moment, play it back, like go back to those words. Like, where are you active with those? We can call them words, but we can also call it energy because that's really what it is. Love is energy. Courage is energy. Play is energy. Laughter is energy. It's all energy. So where are you? And then, where do you want to be with it? Is there lack in any of it? Could you add, can you bring more of it into your life? Imagine how it would feel to bring more of any of those things, those energies or all of them into your life. If you do feel like I don't laugh a lot, and I want to laugh more, and then start visualizing using your imagination. What would it feel like to laugh more? What would it feel like to love more openly, more freely, and, with a larger capacity. You know what I mean? Like without holding back. What would being more courageous feel like? That's like two birds with one stone, right? Because you're using your curiosity, you're using your imagination, you're getting creative, you're being very reflective, and, at the same time, you are inviting these energies into your being, and then you get to determine like how, what you want to do with them, how you want to expand upon them, basically. I really believe that they contribute to this kind of, saying ageless, way of living, right? So now let's move into youth by way of biology. Okay. So diet, no brainer, biggest piece, absolute biggest piece, right? We are flesh, we are bacteria, we are cells, come on, man, we're bones, we're blood. Like, yes, my name is Roxanne and I like, avocados and my matcha tea, but I also have mitochondria and heart and a lung. And the reason why I say that, you guys, is because, and I know I've said this before, but like, it is important to realize at all times that while we are this human being and we have our personality and our characteristics and, all this stuff, we are also like this physical flesh, right? And what, mindset for sure is a huge source of information that dictates our biological health, definitely our biological age. And the great example is if you wake up and you're telling yourself you're old or whatever, like you're just telling yourself you're old, I'm getting old. Oh, well, your body's fucking listening, man, because guess what? Your mind is part of your body. So, it's like, every cell I feel like is hearing you and then will act as if you're getting old. Okay, great. Well, your body's going to be like, you're right, we are. So, but if you're not even, that's why in the end of my caption, getting old is not even in my vocabulary. It's not even in my mindset. I'm not even fucking looking in that direction. What is that direction? It's not mine, right? So before I even tap into diet, I think that is a very important element to express. It's an important, huge source of information that our biology is responding to. So pay attention to that, right? Like, what are the books you're reading? If you're reading books, how much news do you watch? What kind of, well, now this is going to go into the list right here, but so let me pause there actually. And let me go to diet and I'm going to go back to where I was. Okay. It's a lot to cover, you guys. Hopefully it's all making sense. So diet, man. Listen, the whole thing, you are what you eat. Well, it's fucking true. It's like and everything all comes down to the dose. Avocados are super healthy. If you're only eating avocados, you're eating them in like super large excess, well, then it probably is not going to be a good thing for you, right? So it's all about the dose. And I say that because I'm not saying to have a cupcake is evil and it's going to, age you immediately. It's all about the dose. Unfortunately, we live in a society where, we're just over consuming sugar and health disruptive foods. It's the best way to put it. So I don't go too deep in this because there's more things to cover. So yes, you have to go out of your way. And I certainly do. I do. I mean, it's no secret. We all know that, right? It's like, I go out of my way. Now it's like at a point where, it's like it's just who I am. It's my lifestyle. So I'm so used to it. Like I don't feel there's no discipline involved at all anymore when it comes to my diet. I do not look at something, want it, and do not have it. I do not feel a chore when I have to pack my food because I'm going to be away from my home all day and I don't want to eat what they're providing at wherever I'm going, Not a chore. It's a love. It's an absolute love. I know what it takes for me to feel my best, and I am happy to serve myself exactly that. So my diet essentially is geared around cellular health. Cellular health means, it's like I'm keeping the cells in my body at an optimal state or to the best of my ability, right? And, so that's like paying attention to my macronutrients, my micronutrients. If it's 4:00 in the day, I'm like measuring how much dark leafy greens have you had yet? How much, do you need more fats? Do you need more protein? That's constant every day for me. just in the sense of like gauging. It's not just like, oh, I got to eat. Okay, what do you want to eat? Oh, pasta. Like, it's not like that for me, because I'm like, what do I need to perform my best, to feel my best? Because I know if I'm feeling my best, then I'm going to perform better, right? And here's the coolest part. By focusing my diet in that direction, you guys, the whole aging thing, it's like taking care of itself for me, right? Because I'm not leaning towards health disruptive foods. I'll say this, I am going to pick on sugar for a moment. Sugar fucking ages you. Straight up. Straight up. From an internal perspective and an external perspective. I'm a celebrity makeup artist of many years at this point. I can tell you right now, skin is my canvas, so I have a very great understanding of how the skin works. And sugar breaks down the elasticity in your skin. It causes wrinkles. I did an epic podcast with Dr. Molly Maloof. It's number 28. If you have not listened to it yet, I think it is absolutely worthy of taking the time to go back and listen to it. She's an absolute badass. And, we talked about this, the sugar thing, how like a lot of people are kind of, she framed it as like, superficial. And I get it, because it's like we care more about the external than the internal, right? A lot of us do, like a lot of people do. I care about both, straight up. Yes, I want to look good on the outside, but here's the thing. I know that if I'm taking care of myself on the inside, the outside's a byproduct. It's just going to happen. There's certain things you for sure have to do, like in specific ways that are particular to the external. Like, yeah, a moisturizer or whatever. But like, you can use the best fucking moisturizer all day long. And if you're eating like shit, I'm sorry, you're doing it backwards. You can eat the best foods and then use a okay moisturizer and you're going to be all right. Like, it's going to be good. So diet, and mine personally, I'm in this concept of like being kind of ageless, beating your chronological clock. You want to gear towards your diet towards cellular health. There's like 10% of my diet is geared towards body composition. And what that means is like, there is an element of my diet where I focus it so that, I'm making sure my lean muscle mass is there and where I want it to be specifically. Maybe I want, bigger shoulders or bigger butt or whatever. And so that's like 10% of my diet. And, your training has something to do with that too. That's a great segue into the next piece. Movement. You got it. So it's not just, this is my opinion, but I feel like this can so be backed up by science, probably already has. I just don't have, articles to, say in particular about this right now, but that validate it. But when we continue to challenge our body for new adaptations, that's huge. That is totally going to help keep the, deterioration process of aging away. Right. And I can say anecdotally, that is, so what that means is like, I'm always finding ways to challenge myself, my body through movement, whether it's like lifting heavier, lifting weights, period, doing more high intensity interval training, doing some, whatever it is, like versus like, I just do this one thing, maybe two, and that's just all I do. Like, I'm a runner and I just go, well, cool. Like, hey, listen, just fucking move. It's better than nothing. So by no means if you're moving and you're making that a part of your life, I am high-fiving you right now. Truly. I actually have knuckles up, like, yo, right on. But this particular subject that I'm, trying to tease apart right now is how we can keep this ageless process, as we, happening as we maneuver through our life and more chronological years are tacked on. New adaptations, man, new challenges. Because remember this too, like when we are challenging our body, we're also challenging our mind, right? And we need challenge. We evolve through challenge, you guys. We don't have challenge, like we're not growing. Again, like if you're not growing, in my opinion, we're just dying slowly. So we want to find ways, and they don't have to be like crazy. They don't have to be super gnarly. It's just always kind of making sure that you're never too comfortable and settled. Like this is just your thing. You like find a new way. Oh, you've been doing a lot of intense, training. Cool. So can you deload? Can you now get into like this stretching game? Maybe you're starting to do some yoga and like applying that, but just number one is movement needs to be an active part of your life. It just has to be. We're designed to move. We're not, and unfortunately we live in a society like now where we're sitting more than we're moving. Listen, I am an active mover. It's hard for me. After 1 hour of sitting when I'm doing work and stuff, podcast or whatever, man, I'm like, I gotta stand. I've recorded podcasts straight up, Solosode standing because I can't sit for so long because I'm so used to movement. But overall, we live in a time like I might do like a hardcore workout in the morning, weights, whatever. And then it's 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I only moved 5,000 steps. Whereas like back in the day, we didn't have to go out of our way to do all this weightlifting stuff. We were moving rocks. We were building forts or homes or whatever. So, and we were getting who knows how many steps in, right? We were moving so much more. So I see that and I'm like, shit, go on a walk real quick. Like just, it's the takeaway here on the movement piece, you guys, is number one, make sure that you're doing it and that it's consistent. And number two, find new ways to challenge yourself within it constantly so that you're never, getting too comfortable and too stuck in the same routine because there's no adaptation there and you're not going to, get as many of the benefits that you can that connect to this being kind of ageless, or, keeping your cells youthful, keeping that lean muscle, keeping your biology young. Let's put it there. New adaptations, new challenges, constant movement keeps your biology young. Cool. Next, sleep. That was on my list. I make sleep a priority. I totally do. It is absolutely a priority. I went through my 20s where it wasn't, and that was the time to fucking do it. So if you're in your 20s, you still got some time. No, but it's true. Oh my gosh, human growth hormone, like, which, it's like the kind of like the youth hormone. If we're not getting quality sleep and within like specific time frames too, through the night, we don't allow ourselves to recover. We don't allow as much of, HGH to for us to take on that HGH in our system and have it fucking restore us. And, I can say certainly like when I get a really good night of sleep, I wake up and my skin has that like dewy, plump, glowy thing happening that I fucking love so much. Not to mention my mind feels recharged, my body feels recharged. So sleep is really important. Everyone's life is different, man. And I get it. Like if you're a parent, new parent especially, what are you going to do? You got to feed your baby. Maybe you're a shift worker. What are you going to do? I'm not here to judge and say like, this is the only way to sleep good. I'm just saying that I firmly do believe that by my paying attention to my sleep and making sure that it's a priority. So not just 8 hours, but like, what's the quality of my sleep doing? I wear a Fitbit. I like it. I don't get too crazy about it. Like I'm not going to get in my head about it necessarily. If I didn't have a good night of sleeping, it's going to happen for sure. But I do like to track it. And I do overall just driving home the point that it's a priority for me. And I do believe, and science backs this up, that, we will protect our brain health when we're getting, more adequate amounts of quality sleep. We're able to have more energy, not only just to live better, but also like even through your movement, your workouts are better. Everything is better. This is the perfect segue into the next piece, but your emotional resilience, your nervous system, your energy that you are putting out into the world is so much better. And that is I'm going to connect the dot now to the next and final one, which is relationships. So when you're sleeping better, you're probably a lot nicer. You're probably a lot more present. You're probably a lot calmer, and all that stuff it bleeds into your relationships, right? So why I think your relationships are a huge piece to, youth is because, well, first of all, love is huge, right? So having people in your life that genuinely love you, that genuinely have your back. Genuine, by the way, is like a major word that I'm putting emphasis on, that are genuine people that have your best interests, that support you, that encourage you, that challenge you, that will call you on your shit. Personally, I only have people like that in my life. My friends are so empowering, so loving. I can turn to them and be like, did I fuck up? Or did I, and they'll tell me, and I trust them. That's huge. And it's obviously, they have that same thing with me. My family, I mean, that goes without saying. I'll say it just for the sake of this episode for people who don't really know. Maybe it's your first time listening, but like, my family's everything. Spending time with my family is everything. It's a charge that I need, and it keeps me so healthy. It keeps me, there's hormones that are released when we are with the people that we love. Dopamine, serotonin. We need these hormones, So quality time is so huge. Also, like, who are your relationship? If you're in an unhealthy relationship, that is going to tax you. It's going to tax you in a, physical sense, emotional sense, your biology. Like, if you have negative people around you, or disempowering is a better word, people who complain a lot, people who put you down, like, that is not healthy. It's just not. And so I have to say relationships, because it is a huge piece. We're born to be with people, like humans, like we're tribal, right? We like partnership for the most part. I might be an introvert, but I still need my people time, but I'm picky, man. I'm fucking absolutely snobbish when it comes to the energy I choose to put, to surround myself with. And so, maybe now that I've expressed that diet, movement, sleep, relationships, now's the time to go into your imagination, into your, just into your mind, basically, and be like, cool, well, where am I at with all that stuff? So if you do feel like, oh, I'm getting old, okay, well, then go through that list and be like, well, where can I improve in these areas? Do I need to get rid of that friend that just constantly, complains and like, it's always disempowering, like, by way, like, puts me down? Or I'm just saying, like, it, whatever. Or do I need to eliminate the sugar consumption? Do I need to move more? Do I need to make sleep? I'm just saying that's a checklist for you. And these are things that I personally pay attention to, and I'm very mindful of, and I make choices on every single day that are full-on contributors to how I am aging, in quotations. Yeah, man. So this is why I say the model of aging as we know it is old, because we don't have to just be born, have fun years as a kid, and then become an adult, get old and die. We just don't. We don't. We need to, we need to definitely be conscious and make choices that support our ability to keep this kind of youthful spirit, youthful biology as we, tack on more chronological years. For sure, it's effort, it takes work, but what fucking beautiful work is that? It's probably, in my opinion, it's the best work I'll ever do, because again, like, the more that I can be a light in this world, the more that I can, exude myself from my highest expression. And, that's, the world is going to get the best of me, right? I'm going to offer inspiration. I'm going to be able to love at a, deeper level, at a higher level. I'm going to be able to ultimately, you guys, contribute at a much larger and more, positive, impactful level when I am feeling just robust, and not feeling like decrepit and like I'm deteriorating and let me hide behind my age. Like, no, it's not. No, I'm fucking 40. I'm proud of it. I'm very proud of everything that I've done up until this point and that I'm doing currently. And guess what? Tomorrow, I'm going to ask myself to do better. And then the day after that, I'm going to ask myself to do better. In that caption, one piece, I'm going to end it on this, but When I said, what I would say to myself is, great work, I'm proud of you. Now do better because you can. The bait to keep leveling up seduces me on the daily. It does. I wake up sometimes way earlier than I want to. I'm like, can I start yet? Because I'm so fucking excited to see what I can produce in the new day and what I can discover, what I can create, what I can offer, what I can share, what I can learn. All this stuff. It's like, I'm just like, because I just really feel like there's always there's always another level. There's always a higher level. Okay. I'm empty and full at the same time. That was a lot. I hope it made valuable sense to all of you. I mean, the goal here never is to tell you what to do. I'm not anyone's teacher. I'm certainly not preaching. I'm just sharing. I'm sharing because A, it feels good, and B, it's like, man, if this can in any way, any of this information supports you to be moving through your days and your years in a more feel great state, robust state, and essentially like an ageless state of being, then mission accomplished. And I am so happy. I am so happy to share all this stuff with you. So a lot to process. Like I said, I hope that you really receive this in your hearts and it resonates and it, does something for you. That was certainly my intention. So that's all I got for you 50 minutes later. Oh, wait, I remembered one more thing. I'm such a liar. Wait, this is huge though. Are you ready? This is really big. You guys, don't take yourself too serious. Love you. Catch you on the next one.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode, you guys. If you loved it, please share it on your social. Throw it up on your Instagram stories and tag me. I'm at BlackBeltBeauty. I am also at Roxy Look, RoxyLook. I love connecting with you guys. This is a conversation that I want to just continue growing with you guys. So if you feel inspired to hit me up, do so in that space. I always enjoy hearing from you. If you'd like to support this podcast, you can do so by rating it and reviewing it via iTunes. It's such supportive help, you guys. It really helps the visibility of this podcast. So I appreciate and thank you in advance for doing that. And last but not least, if you are interested in starting your own podcast, or perhaps you already have one and you need help with, editing your audio and the production of it, I cannot recommend my producers enough. Resonate Recordings, you guys, they are the bomb. I rely on them. They are an absolute supportive tool to me and my podcast. So check them out and let them know that Black Belt Beauty sent you. And on that note, you guys, I'm signing off with all my love and always looking forward to catching you on the next.